Hello, friends. Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today I'll be showing you how I set up my goals and tasks for the month of March within my agenda planner. So let's get planning. And I've got this mild liner here, along with my erasable friction pen, and that's all I'll be using. So I have pre-decorated these pages in the March monthly theme for my agenda planner, and I'll be pulling out my quarterly and annual goals pages for reference. To start, we will set up the monthly goals, again, using the goals pages I have set up for quarter one. So using the quarterly goals as my jumping off point for my March goals, my very first goal to tackle will be to build my ideal body through exercise and diet. This is a health goal and is at the top of my quarterly goals list. So something I have in mind to complete for the quarter, just broken down into a monthly segment. So first task in order to complete this goal will be to follow a new meal plan, since my attempt at following macros and coming up with a meal plan on my own just has not worked out the last 2 months. So we're going to try a new approach, something a little bit more simplified and something I've done in the past. So I'll be trying to follow the 21-day fixed diet plan, along with completing my strength training routine 3 times a week, as I've been doing for the last couple of months. Meal planning and prep, just making sure that I have all the items I need to complete my 21-day fix. I want to continue getting 10,000 steps daily or more if I can, and working out 60 minutes or more at least 6 days a week. I do need to track and review my body stats, as well as my volume lifted weekly as well, just to see that progression of getting stronger and also hopefully seeing some changes in my body. That's my first goal. Hopefully that will help me finish out the quarter strong. My next goal is going to be, again, from my quarterly goals, and it is to use AI to increase my business task efficiency. This is something that I really need a little bit of help with, and I'm hoping to streamline my production in my Etsy business through AI if I can. So the very first thing here will be to research AI solutions for inefficiencies that I can hopefully solve with AI. I do want to identify and solve at least one inefficiency each week. I have a vacation planned at the end of the month, so I am only really going to be focusing in on the first 3 weeks of the month. Because of that, we are going to plan on developing only 3 workflows for the month, since the last week will be for vacation. I also want to allot 4 hours a week to this task in order to create those AI workflows and get things going. It's going to be a pretty big job, and what I think I want to do will take quite a bit of time and effort to set up and figure out. And finally, I want to implement those workflows and refine as needed. Next, we're going to focus in on the last quarterly goal there, which is a finance goal. And this month, I've decided that I'm going to try to have a no spend month, but it's not going to be a true month because, again, I do have a vacation at the end of the month. But I'm going to focus in on the first 3 weeks and just try to curb any excess spending through these following tasks for the first 3 weeks of the month. First off, I want to eliminate eating out for those 21 days. I think because I'll be following a 21-day fix, this might work out perfectly, since I do want to stick to that diet plan. If I stick to it, I won't be eating out anyway, so it just eliminates that temptation to go out and eat and spend money in the process. Second, I want to limit non-essential grocery expenditures, things that, are more like comfort food or just things that I want to have because they look good versus what's really going to progress me overall in my nutrition and health. Then I have a no gift or personal expense plan here for 21 days, is trying to, again, curb any excess spending, really do a no spend. And then I need to, of course, review my weekly expenses and eliminate any extras where I can see they can be eliminated. So those first three goals are, again, directly from my quarterly goals and are an extension of completing those goals. Next, we're going to pick one more goal that's going to be a somewhat lighter goal, something to really only focus in on for the month, but just to round out my goal setting process here for March. I usually take this goal directly off of my vision board. And for this month, we're going to pick a development goal of improving my photography taking skills as well as my editing skills, and see what I can do to help progress myself in this area for the month. First off, I do want to research those skills that I can do to improve my photography. So I've done this in the past, but I've forgotten a lot since I didn't practice it as much in the last few years. So I want to just go back and kind of refresh my knowledge of how to take good photos and, things that I can do in camera to help me. I also want to schedule and complete a photo tour if I can, find something maybe when we're on vacation or something at the end of the month maybe would work out well. I also want to edit old and new photo sets that I've made with Lightroom, since I did just recently finish a class on Lightroom, refresh my skills and improve the photos that I've taken in the past. While going through the editing process, if I find a photo to submit to our local county fair, I thought that might be a fun way to have a culmination of that goal for the end of the month. Now we're moving on to the weekly tasks. And for those, we'll go ahead and first set up the date span for each of the weeks, so I know where I'm planning and can gauge what's going on week by week. There's a few items that I know will need to be completed outside of my goal tasks every week, and because they take up so much time, I definitely want to factor those in to my weekly tasks. So first off, I have to film my Thursday and Sunday videos each week. So I'll add that in. I also need to begin following that 21-day fix diet. So that will take up some time to plan and grocery shop, things like that, just everything, as well as to follow it. So I want to include that. Also, lifting 3 times a week, I have to plan that in. That's at least an hour 3 times a week that I need to plan into my schedule. So I want to make sure I'm making time for that as well. Then I have to develop an AI workflow. So that's directly from that second goal. And of course, to use it and refine it throughout the week once I've developed it. Then I will also need to review my expenses and keep my no spend going. Just kind of checking in, seeing how I'm doing on that goal weekly and reviewing my expenses just to make sure I'm on task. I think the first week I definitely want to research those photo skills I want to improve. So I'll make time during that week to begin that process. Then for the following week, the first 4 tasks are all going to be about the same for video making, following my diet, lifting 3 times a week. I also, of course, want to develop my AI workflow for the week and refine it and review those expenses and check in on my no spend month. I think I want to tackle the scheduling of the photo tour in week 2. I was going to try to complete the photo tour in week 2, but I have a feeling that I'm going to be too busy getting prepared for my vacation. So I just want to put it on the calendar so I don't forget sometime by week 2. Then I will go ahead and fill in those other tasks once again on week 3 that I know I'm going to be tackling, including the video making, following the diet, and lifting 3 times a week. Although in week 3, I have a little bit of a shortened week since I will be going on vacation at the end of that week. So I'm only going to have myself lift 2 times during that week. And then during my vacation mode week, when I come back, I want to at least lift that Sunday before the next week begins. And then the last week going into April, I'm just going to put in those tasks once again, including restarting my 21-day fix after vacation to get back on track. So hopefully I will go right back into my meal plan after vacation stops. In week 3, I do want to try to develop one more AI workflow and refine it, even though it'll be somewhat of a shortened week for me. Since I've been doing workflows throughout the quarter, I'm just going to put on that last week to implement all of the workflows I've developed and utilize them in that last week going into quarter 2. I'm also going to review my savings in that last week and plan out my next steps for quarter 2 financially. It may not be a priority next quarter, but it is something that I want to keep front of mind so that I am still working towards enhancing that goal. Week 3, we have to edit, of course, those old photo sets, since I don't think I'll have a new photo set to edit, and I'll focus in on the editing side of my photography by then. In week 5, I will look for the image that I want to submit to the county fair. Some other little things that I know are coming up. I have a family visit coming on the 11th and the 12th, which will take away some time from my schedule. I have some work items that I know are due. And then I'll leave a little bit of space there for anything else that comes up throughout the month that may take a big chunk of my time each week. So that is it, friends. That is how I tackle my monthly goals and weekly tasks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.